What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Average Bob, and in today's video we are going to highlight the upcoming weekend matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, live from Jerry's World, 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time game. The Giants coming into this one as like 16, 17 point underdogs, and Tommy Touchdowns, Tommy Devito making another start for the Giants. Really going to be tough sledding for the Giants in this game. I mean, I don't really have to go too deep into detail because the Giants play speaks for itself. They are terrible at this juncture of the season. It's another lost season that really was the tone for the season was set in week 1 versus the Cowboys when the Giants came into this game thinking that our shit didn't stink. Oh, we had an okay season last year, and then boom, the Cowboys smack you in the face after one promising drive. It's funny if you go back to that moment how good as a Giants fan we felt going all the way down the field, and then it's like a false start, and then you get a block field goal for a touchdown, and next thing you know, your season's pretty much over. You lose 40-0. A couple other blowouts sprinkled in. Now guys getting hurt. You lose your starting quarterback that you just paid $40-something million a season for. Done with a torn ACL. Was just literally beaten into the ground until he couldn't play anymore. The Giants failed him. I did a YouTube short about this the other day, so I'll put it at the top of the screen where you can click on it and watch a short about how the Giants failed Daniel Jones. Unfortunately, just something that happened. This is years in the making, and here we are. We're going to Jerry's World to get our asses kicked. It would be funny somehow. The Cowboys have some work to do themselves. You saw that they were able to fight back at the end of the game last weekend versus the Eagles. The Eagles really tried to gift wrap the Cowboys a win, just turning the ball over in very inopportune situations, and the Cowboys couldn't get it done. So, again, that was a home loss for the Cowboys. Now they're getting the terribly beaten up Giants team, and just a bad team overall, even if they were healthy. But that team the Giants have been a get-right game for pretty much every single team that they played so far this season. So the Cowboys will use this opportunity to really beat the shit out of another team and feel pretty good about it in the process. Again, two huge guys on the Cowboys that have had very, very, very huge success against the Giants offensive line, specifically DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. All you asshole Cowboys fans used to rip on me last year for calling him Micah Parsons because I'm a big Rangers fan, and I'm just used to saying Micah Zibanejad. So I'll put the respect on his name, Micah Parsons. He's going to eat. He's going to be all over Tommy Touchdowns Devito. So that's another huge matchup. I'd probably look at, if you do want to make some money and cash in on this game, I'd probably look at their sack totals because they've had tremendous success historically, especially the last 2 to 3 seasons. There's not much I can really say about this matchup. The Giants really score average. I think they're 32nd in the league in average points per game. They average they've had 5 total passing touchdowns, and they average around 11 points a game. And this modern 2023 NFL isn't enough to get done. So I'm not going to give any predictions on this game. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll be a very fun day for you obnoxious asshole Cowboys fans. So I hope you guys enjoy beating up on a bad team, and best of luck in the playoffs because we know that's where you guys have been really successful the last number of years. Anyway, I wanted to get to my next point and just touch on, is Brian Daboll on the hot seat? And it's going to be tough to really see because we said the same thing about Shermer. Was kind of I don't know, he had no personality, showed no fight. You could just kind of see right off the bat, he was never going to be a good fit for this team. And then you had Joe Judge come in, and actually, let's take it back even further to Ben McAdoo, right? Ben McAdoo's first season as a Giants head coach, goes to the playoffs, gets the ass kicked by the Packers. Next season, pretty sure he was fired halfway through the season. It went so south. We already talked about Shermer. Joe Judge comes in, special teams coach, big Belichick guy, rah, we're going to make the city proud. This is going to be a blue-collar team that's going to make the city proud. Then you start doing quarterback sneaks on your own 6-yard line. You weren't going to get fired till you did that, Joe. So I think there have been guys, especially Joe Judge, I think Joe Judge actually could have lasted another season if he didn't do the quarterback sneak stuff and just kind of went out guns blazing. But he was terrible. So that brings me to our next guy here that we have today as our head coach, Brian Daboll. Daboll was the coach of the year last year. And I think if you go back and look at it, and I want to do a video about breaking down last season and why it was kind of a fluke, but that's just the NFL, modern NFL today. Like, for teams that aren't the cream of the crop, like the Chiefs or something like that, or the astronomical points across the board every single game of the season, you're middle of the pack. And that's what the Giants were, and they got their asses kicked not once, twice, but 3 times when they played a really good team like the Eagles last year. So I think that last year was a little bit of a fluke, and I want to talk about why in another video, which we'll probably be doing in the next couple weeks, because I don't know how much beneficial the previews will be for everyone to watch, and who the hell is going to want to watch a preview for a shitty team. So those videos will probably get no views, and this one probably won't either, but who cares? It's therapeutic. And going back to, if you look at last season, probably a guy like Pete Carroll probably deserved to win that award with what he had to work with and a shitty Geno Smith, making him good compared to Daniel Jones and Saquon finally being healthy together. So whatever, that's a story for another day. So talking about our coach of the year last year, successful season, coach of the year moving into this season, everything's been a dumpster fire since game 1, since the end of the first drive of game 1. There hasn't, you had the Cardinals game, whatever, like, that's the Cardinals, like, you're gonna pat yourself on the back for beating a team that is atrocious and was trying to lose that game. But let's just look at, regardless of what has happened so far this season, let's look to the future, and by looking at the schedule to figure out where we can get any sort of wins here or losses, and predict what Brian Daboll's record's going to be to end the season, and see how. So the Giants at 2-7 going down to Dallas this weekend. We will obviously give that an L, because they should get smoked. Tommy Touchdowns starting. There's no glimmer of hope that they should win this game, and if they do, I will laugh extremely hard in the face of all you Cowboys fans. So that brings the Giants to 2-8. Next up would be another home game versus Washington. We beat Washington a couple weeks ago, 14-7, but Washington is sort of trending in the right direction. So we'll go with I don't even know. Let's go with a loss there, or that could be another overtime game like last season. So then you're 2-8, 2-9. So 2-9. Then versus the Patriots, Bill Belichick comes in the MetLife Stadium. The Pats are so bad. Let's just give the Giants a win there. So we're 3-9. Packers Monday night game. I'm gonna count that as an L because the Giants never win in primetime. So you are now 3-10. Then a matchup versus the Saints, possibly a winnable game there. 1 o'clock game. I'll give the Giants a win there. Let's just say they win that. So they get to 4-10. After that, you have 2 of 3 games versus the Eagles, which the Giants never beat the Eagles. You could look at the stats if you want to puke and just see how true that is. It's actually absolutely disgusting until the Giants even make a competitive game versus them. There's 2 out of 3 games to finish your season. The Eagles could rest both their starters in both those games because it's a joke for the Giants. So that's 2 extra losses there. So you're 4-12. And then you play the Rams, and good luck covering like Puka, Nakua, and Cooper Kupp, and that's just another loss there. So you're 4-13 in your second season as a Giants coach. The seat's not going to get much hotter than that. Can Brian Daboll be able to withstand that hot seat? That's a massive question, because in that process, there's going to be a lot that looks really bad. Will the team completely implode? Are you going to risk? Is Saquon the guy who's going to want to risk playing on a potential 4-13 team when he's got to get paid again this offseason? I think you're going to start seeing guys check out, because it doesn't seem like these guys are really made of much at this point. They haven't showed any fight, really, and they're not that good either. So this is going to be this is really going to come down to a lot of coaching from Brian Daboll to see what he can get out of these guys when this is a miserably lost season. And I think Brian Daboll survives this year, but a major thing is moving forward to the future, say you play the Cowboys again, Sunday night game, week 1 at home, and you go 3 and out, or the Cowboys put up 21, 28 in the first half, and you put up 6 points, you're going to get booed out of the stadium, and you best believe you might not even make it through the whole season if you can't fix it. So, NFL, such a week-to-week game, such a season-to-season game. You're seeing the highs into immediate lows, and I think Brian Daboll's smart, and he was very, cognizant of that last year when he's going to Rangers games, and I think he actually said it during his speech for Coach of the Year, like, they might love you 1 minute and hate you the next. You just got to enjoy that 1 minute, because right now it's not looking good, and, a lot of these games you're going to see a lot of opposing fans for other teams, because, especially at home, for the home games, because no one's going to waste your time, or they shouldn't waste your time or money going to these games to support a team that really doesn't, seem like they care much. So, anyway, thanks for watching.